You already know how important it is to build your personal real estate brand. Maybe you've started YouTube, you've started posting videos to Instagram, and that business is just not rolling in quick enough. The good news is you're not alone. I went through the exact same thing. So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you the 5 ways that I leverage my YouTube channel way beyond YouTube in order to bring in business. It takes so much time to build our brands and create this content that we need to leverage it as quickly as possible so we can keep making more of it while actually doing deals. This is a new channel, so if you're looking at the views and the subscribers and thinking to yourself, like, who is this Brad McCallum guy? I understand, but the reality is I actually have a main YouTube channel that services my business in Calgary, Alberta. I've been a real estate agent for 6 years. I've got a team called the McCallum Group. We do over 100 million in sales. I've got one of the most internationally recognized personal brands in the real estate space. I've spoken at events all across North America and have attracted thousands of agents to Real Broker. So if you're looking to find out how you can leverage your videos the way I have, this is the channel to do it. I've been creating property tours now for about 5 years. There are a lot of different styles of content that you can make if you're a realtor, but the reason that I chose to focus on those is simply because they help me do 3 things that I wanted to do in my business. First off, I wanted the video to actually help sell the house. Second, I wanted people, when they saw me walking through the house, to consider me an authority in my marketplace. And then of course, the third thing is I actually wanted to attract other people that were selling homes. They would see these videos and think, man, when we go to sell our house, I want a video just like that. So the 5 ways that I leverage video, it's not dependent on you focusing on doing property tours. But if you're a newer agent, you might wonder why I chose that in the first place. And the reason why is because selling leads are the holy grail of real estate. If you get a listing, you're nearly guaranteed a commission. But these are the hardest types of leads to acquire. In an industry with an 87% failure rate, you're gonna wanna learn how to list. In fact, there's an expression that says, if you wanna last, you gotta list. The very first way that I leverage my YouTube channel way beyond YouTube is by posting those same videos on other websites. Now, in some cases, I just post a link, and in other cases, I actually post the native video. So let's break that down for a second. In Canada, Realtor.ca allows you to post your YouTube link right into the property description. So that means when someone actually clicks on one of your listings, it actually shows up before the first photo. Just a thumbnail appears and they can click on it rather than going through the 50 photos. That's amazing for your brand because not only do they learn about you and that home, they can also then dive into the rest of your YouTube channel. I actually find that these leads are some of the highest intention leads that I can get, even better than YouTube, because they are already on the website doing a property search, searching in a certain community and in a certain budget. So when they see this video, they're like, hey, this house looks amazing. Let's give this guy a call. But maybe you're in a market that doesn't actually allow you to post those property tours to Realtor.com or to Zillow. In that case, you can still leverage your YouTube channel beyond just YouTube by posting natively on different websites. Sites like Facebook and LinkedIn post natively to both of those platforms. Just change your description a little bit so you can speak to the audience that's on Facebook, which is maybe more your sphere, and maybe the audience that's on LinkedIn, which is maybe more of a business or an entrepreneurial focus. But I want you to start thinking a little bit bigger than just your own followings on those websites. What I want you to do is actually share your videos into relevant Facebook groups in your community. In my area, there's ones that are about my local community, there's ones that are about my city, and then there's ones about specific topics. Maybe it's things that are happening in and around Calgary, or maybe it's actually about real estate. These are great areas to actually share your video and expand your sphere of influence. We're still not done with point number 1 yet, because there are sites like Instagram and TikTok where you can continue to leverage that video content, but in shorter vertical reels. This means that you've got a long form piece of content. Maybe it's a property tour, maybe it's a market update. Well, chop that down into bite-sized pieces and share it on those different platforms. It took so long to create the content in the first place. You've already got it made. Now make sure it gets in front of each one of those audiences. My friend Tom Ferry, and the world's #1 real estate coach, he always says you can boil real estate down to one simple thing: conversations. How many conversations are you having on a day-to-day basis? Well, this is actually the second way that I leverage my YouTube videos. Even if you're great at starting conversations and meeting people, you still need to be intentional about getting their contact information and then following up with them. And that really is the hard part, especially if you don't know what value you have to bring. And it's simply, hey, I was wondering, do you need to buy or sell a house? You see, that's not adding value. This is one great place that your content can help. Let's say you're sitting an open house and someone walks in. Rather than forcing them to register, why not ask them some questions that will lead them towards an outcome that you would actually like to see happen? Let's say you've created some content about this property. You might ask them, hey, have you had a chance to see the property tour? And if they say yes, okay, that's great. You've already started to form a bond. But if not, what you can say is, hey, would you like me to text you over a link to that property tour? I think it's really cool. And if you got some other people in your family that might be moving into this house with you, hey, they'd probably want to see it too. They usually will share their information if you have something to share of value. Maybe they come in and they tell you, oh, I'm not serious, I'm looking, maybe I'm just a neighbor down the street thinking of selling someday. And you say, well, yeah, if you're curious about what's going on in the market, I actually just created a video, a market update that actually kind of breaks down how inventory is still very low despite interest rates being high. It's still a seller's market. That's a piece of value that you can give them, and another way that you can leverage that content that you've already created. Most new agents are probably going to get their next deal from someone they know. And this is another way that you can leverage these videos to continue conversations. For me, when I started my YouTube channel, the conversations weren't happening from people watching the YouTube videos on YouTube. They were actually coming from my sphere of influence, my friends, my family, relatives of friends and family. They would watch these videos and then they would approach me and ask me about the market. And that's really what happens when you're creating content, is they come to you. It allows you to be much more authentic in your relationships, never having to reach out to them and say, hey guys, I'm your realtor, or I'm a realtor now, so please send me your business. No, instead they see you as providing value. So if you're out for dinner or grabbing drinks with a friend and they start talking about the market, which is like a pastime for nearly everybody these days, well, just say, hey, listen, man, I filmed a really cool video on this topic. I think it'll answer your question. I'll text it over to you. They'll appreciate it because it actually helps answer the questions that they had. So be really intentional about how this content can help you start more conversations or continue more conversations with either the public or your sphere of influence. Let's get into the third way that I leverage my YouTube channel. So creating a database. Creating a database is one of the most important things that any agent can do. They get these leads coming in, and then as they have them, they have this larger list that's growing from month to month to month. So people that have shown some sort of intention to maybe buy or sell real estate at some point in time. Now, if you have that database, and just like in that last video on starting your YouTube channel, you've been creating content that has a unique voice that's necessary and relevant, this is a perfect way for you to showcase that content, but in a weekly email database mail out. Remember, everything that we're doing with our brand, we want it to be a little bit next level so it stands out from the crowd. Why not include in those emails a link to a video that talks directly about the market or directly about the concerns of buyers and sellers right now, or maybe it's even a property tour that you have featured on your YouTube channel. This is just one more way that you can take that content you've created and that database that you've collected and leverage it for even more business. From the very beginning of my career, if my phone wasn't ringing, I didn't go cold calling and door knocking. I just went to work on my brand. Believe me, if you build your personal brand, the business will come to you. But let's be honest, as much as I want to attract my ideal client, I also want to use my content to create as many opportunities for business as possible. So this fourth way that I'm going to share with you, it really puts you back in the driver's seat. The way that I do this is I actually use my content to reach out to builders and developers. Think about this. Builders and developers, they do a lot of work every year. They have a lot of homes to sell. Some oftentimes have 5, 10, sometimes do as many as 30 or 40 transactions in a year. And that's kind of like a dream scenario for a realtor, to have one contact, but yet a lot of business from that contact. Now, obviously, these are some of the most competitive leads there are in the industry. You need to find some way to stand out. And this is where your content can help you do that. For me, for example, I will oftentimes send my videos to a builder or a developer and let them know that this is the kind of thing that we can do for them and their business. Now, all of a sudden, instead of just being their realtor, you're their PR company. You are their marketing company. You are exposing them to the audience that you're building through your database, through your social media channels, and on your YouTube channel. And I think that this is something we just cannot forget. When you see someone on the other side of the screen, our entire lives, we've been conditioned to think of that person as someone special, someone unique, someone who's an authority. That doesn't change now, even in a world where so many people are creating content. The more content that you create and the more audiences that you put yourself in front of, the more people will see you as that authority. All right, the time has arrived for my 5th tip on how you can leverage your YouTube videos well beyond YouTube. But before we get started on that, I just want to take a second to say thank you so much for checking out this channel. If you haven't done it yet, just hitting the like button actually really helps, or sharing it with a friend, that's a big deal. And if you like this kind of content and you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Together, I want to help you build your YouTube channel and your business. That is my big goal for this channel. But as excited as many of you are to be on your YouTube journey, or maybe just starting to learn ways to create more value from your YouTube channel, many of you are still stuck. But don't worry about that, because if you are, I've made a video right here that will tell you the exact video that you should be making for your YouTube channel right now. And if you follow this template, it's gonna start bringing you value almost immediately. Like universally, this will work for all agents. The 5th and final tip for leveraging your content is the relationships that you build with other agents. In the beginning of my career, I wasn't so good at that. But as soon as I started to upload content to Facebook, other agents were watching that content and they started to reach out to me. And I would see that they were creating cool content, so I got inspiration. I started to create a network of friends, and these colleagues also started to help me with my business. The more I uploaded, the more they saw me as an authority in Calgary. And guess what happened? They would start to send me referrals when they had clients that were buying and selling in my city, and then I would do the same with them. It was an opportunity for me to actually raise my bottom line. And I can't tell you how much that accelerated the growth of my business. And if you're at a brokerage like Real Broker, the more that agents see you as an authority, the more likely they'll be to give you a call and ask you about that brokerage, ask you to be their sponsor, and want to partner with you so they can be in business with you and you can earn some passive income in the meantime. I hope this video helps you start thinking beyond YouTube. There's just so many ways to take that content you're already creating and put it to work so you can have more conversations with your sphere of influence, with your database, even with people you just meet on the street. Hey, what did I miss? I want to know in the comments. Let me know. How do you leverage your content in ways that I didn't even bring up here today? Guys, I'm Brad. This is Brandon Like Brad. Happy selling and keep creating. That's the tagline, at least for now. That's what we're working with. Just go with it, move on, or check out that video there.